As part of your Politics AS exam, you need to know some of the arguments for and some of the arguments against changing the legal age of voting to 16. Now, although this is a very controversial subject and there are a lot of arguments for and against, you only actually need to know a few of them, so here they are. It just doesn't make sense that young people aren't allowed to vote. They have so many responsibilities without any corresponding rights. 16-year-olds can get taxed, they can marry, they can have sex, join the army, or leave their home, but they can't vote for who they want to. It's very unfair that young people can fight for their country, but can't even influence who runs the country that they're fighting for. And speaking of fairness, it's quite an obvious fact that politicians are after votes, and therefore they're only going to care and listen to the people who can actually vote for them. So what chance does a 16 or a 17-year-old have of having their interests even somewhat regarded by any politician? And lastly, 18 is just an arbitrary cut-off age. On what basis did we even ever choose 18? There's no evidence to show that 18-year-olds are more capable of making important decisions than older people. So why do we let 18-year-olds vote? In fact, why do we let anybody vote? We don't exclude ignorant or poorly educated adults from voting, so why should we exclude potentially politically engaged 16-year-olds? So there are 4 good reasons for why we should change the legal age to 16. Now here are 4 good reasons why we shouldn't. Argument number 1. Young people are just too immature to vote. Yes, some of them might leave school at 16, but most young people remain living at home with their parents. Most of them are in full-time education, being cared for completely. How can they be really considered full citizens with full citizen rights when they aren't even able to look after themselves? Why should they be able to influence the way our country is run? Number 2. Childhood should be preserved where possible. Our society already forces children to take on way too many adult responsibilities. They should focus on personal development, rather than taking on the burden, and it is a burden, of the country's heavy political problems. Number 3. Deferred representation. 16-year-olds only have to wait 2 years before they can vote, so it's not as if they can never vote. If they are passionate about their political views, then they can do with waiting 2 years and then show it and be represented properly like everybody else has been. Number 4. It's been shown that people who become legally able to vote, but don't within the first year that they are able to vote, never vote again, or at least are much less likely to vote in the future. Since 18 to 24-year-olds are the least likely group to go out and vote for their favourite candidate, 16 and 17-year-olds can be assumed to be probably even less likely to go out and vote, so we sort of set them up for a long line of never going out and voting. The argument, therefore, is that by allowing children to mature into political matters, we create a comfortable environment that allows them to integrate, throwing them at the deep end, where they just have to vote on some of the most important issues to them and everybody else in the country, is just so confusing and too much of a pressure for these young people. So there you have it, 4 arguments for and 4 arguments against changing the legal age of voting to 16 in the UK, as promised.